We are in here live on YouTube.
We in here. All right.
What up, Ego?
What's going on, Abomination AJ?
All right, people, this is our podcast. I had a whole intro planned out, but I forgot it. So this is Heroes No Capes, episode 1.
Episode 1.
And we just talking about things that interest us. I'm drinking on a little protein shake right now. So
I was gonna ask what that was.
yeah, I got an energy shake over there as well.
All right, all right.
All right. So I mean, we saw Batman. You know, that's still hot. People still talking about that.
Yeah.
So we might talk about that. I don't know what else is happening in the world. Men out here killing women in sports.
Sad to say. Sad to
supposed
say.
and supposed women's sports. So men kicking ass over there, being being better than women, being better women than women are. So I mean, I said the race swapping of characters.
Those comic book characters, yeah.
That was going on in Batman. Is happening in fucking DC shows coming out in the near future. Well, it's been happening in DC shows. It's been happening everywhere, but specifically this one, Gotham Knights, which I'm excited for that game. I will. I think I'll be playing that.
All right. Look forward to the review on that one.
Got to get you into gaming.
I guess, man. I'll play what you suggest, and then I'll review it from a normie's perspective on that one.
We got to get you the system. You can't play the game if you ain't got the system, son. Ain't nobody talking about that 360.
I appreciate classics. I appreciate classics.
Understandable, but you have them on the shelf.
Okay.
You pull them out from time to time, but you need you a modern system so you can keep in contact with everybody and what's going on.
All right, fine. I'll see what I can do by a new system then.
You can't leave the games up to me, bro. It's too much.
I don't want
to carry that burden by myself.
It's a lot of bullshit.
It's a lot of bullshit. I'm not playing. You might find out you might like some of that stuff.
All right, fine. I'll at least give it a try. I'll give it a try.
There you go. We'll get you a system. Get you a PS4. I don't have a PS5. Fuck that PS5.
It's so expensive.
Yeah.
PS5 sounds expensive. Okay.
Get you a 4, bro. And you good.
All right. I'll be looking to see if I get that 4 money then.
Now, me and you both know.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
I know how you out here, man. All right, bro. So let's go and get into this Batman since there's new, but it's old at the same time. So let's go and get that out the way.
Go right ahead. All right.
Okay, so I gone and let y'all know I hated it. Okay. I'm hard to please though. Without giving a full review because I really just don't care that much.
Right.
This Batman was not Batman that I want to see. And I feel like we have yet to get that Batman in cinematic form.
Okay.
So that was my issue. The identity politics was in there. I mean, you saw it, Ego.
I did.
The race swap black people only got into their positions because the terrible white man got moved out of the way. And Catwoman is a mixed breed, so she just did her thing and mentioned the white privilege and how I guess she wanted some white man to wife her up from her prostitute lifestyle, and I don't know what she wanted from these folks. But sniffing coke off her titties was not enough. All right, man. What's your thoughts on Batman? Since you the Batman fan.
I'm not saying I will say I'm a Batman fan. It's just I've seen all the iterations of Batman. I remember what was his name? Tim Burton's version with Michael Keaton. I remember the version of that we had for Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. There was Batman and Robin with George Clooney. There was the whole Dark Knight series with Christopher Nolan. And then we've got Zack Snyder's version with Ben Affleck. So I've seen all of those versions. Personally, the top two for me are either going to be the Tim Burton's version with Michael Keaton, where Bruce Wayne is more aloof than anything. So it's hard to believe that he's Batman for someone that looks so socially awkward and aloof. Or I like the version that Zack Snyder had with Ben Affleck. It's a Batman that's at least been Batman for 20 years. All the good that he's done in Gotham really hasn't had a positive impact because the Joker in that universe still killed his Robin. And he's winding up finding out that there are actual super villains and superheroes by way of Superman and Zod. So he's like,
hands on Batman ass.
They put hands on Batman. Right. So, so I say all that to say that this version of Batman I really didn't like. You know, if you're trying to give me a whole Batman Begins Year One origin, we had that with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series. So there's no point in trying to go back to say, oh, this is Batman in his first year or two. I understand and I appreciate the fact that they show pictures of him fighting all night. His eyes are really red from being up all night with the contact lenses, and he's reviewing all the footage. But I mean, as far as the relationship between characters, there wasn't anything organic between them. Everything seemed robotic. His relationship with Alfred, there wasn't any respect for Alfred being, you know, his guardian and a father figure. And there was no intelligence from Alfred because Alfred used to be in like Britain's Secret Service, MI5. So you don't show his intelligence and there's no respect or love between the characters.
Alfred was working on their crossword puzzle all night.
Right. I mean, he's like, I looked at a cryptogram. Okay, well, you gave him like the first clue, but then Bruce figures everything out on his own. So he doesn't really use any help that he has. Jim Gordon is completely useless. He's always depending on Batman to either tell him what to do or I'll follow your lead. Whereas in other iterations, Jim Gordon's like, well, hey, I'm just telling you what's happening. I'm laying it out so you can play it out. You exist kind of outside the rules, but within the confines of police work and detective work, this is what we have. Like, go get the bad guy.
And he tell Batman, he's like, look, I'm going to need you to do this, and this. You know what I'm saying? I can work it out to where it can look like this and whatnot. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Not right. But in this one, he's like, what should we do? How do I have to do that? And you're saying, well, if you're a detective before you became commissioner, where's the detective work? Batman did all the detective work for you, and all you do is put things into evidence and then tell your boss about it. The relationship between him and what?
A boy. You sound like a boy.
Yeah. He sounds like he's like, Dad, what should I do?
I mean, like, do that paperwork, boy. Get out there in that field, boy.
More or less. So, you know, his relationship with Catwoman wasn't organic either. It was, you know, if anything, you're trying to show detective work, but he looks like a pervert following her back to her apartment, watching her change and get undressed in the cat suit.
Yeah.
And then follow her to the, I guess is what was the mayor or the governor's mansion after he'd been murdered at that point.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
I don't remember.
The relationship between them didn't make much sense. You know, there's no natural chemistry. There's no real sexual tension at all, which is a staple between the cat and the bat relationship. It's usually there, even in Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer did a great job. You know, people may not like her origin story as Catwoman, but I mean, at least she had the elements down to me. So even that, and then with the Riddler, I understand you're trying to make him the Zodiac killer because that's where they said they got the inspiration for it. But there's already a character that does those kinds of things that's actually a killer. It's Calendar Man. And they actually took this movie, parts of it for the most part, from The Long Halloween and Dark Victory. Like those two books were kind of the main inspiration for the movie of the Batman. But there's already a character that either kills on specific days or has a meaning for each of his kills. The Riddler usually isn't a killer, he's a crook. And he leaves riddles behind because it's more of a cat and mouse, catch me if you can type of deal, not I murdered someone, figure out why I murdered them.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, just with all of that, and I know that someone else had said it, but the characters that weren't white were actually seen as morally good, or before they could actually have a chance to be bad, Batman stopped them from making the wrong decision.
Yeah, like the
So
dude in the beginning that was in the gang, but for some
right,
reason that one brown guy had only half of his face paint on that
right,
day
right,
to really
right,
make sure that the audience saw that he's the colored one. He don't want to do this.
right.
It's the evil white
And it
guys around him that's like
pushing
bullying
him to
him
make
and
this bad decision.
yeah,
Right.
pressuring
And
him and shit.
right. And so if I'm trying to remember correctly, I don't think anyone that was black was actually a goon or a criminal in the entire movie. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Could be
even
wrong.
this even in the situation to where Batman gives Catwoman the contact lenses to figure out who's on the up and up and who's not when she goes to the I think it's the Five Below Club, below the Iceberg Lounge, all the information she's gathering back, they're all white men that
Mhm.
are dirty because they're not supposed to be in this lounge. That's where the mobsters stay. And all these white men are there. They didn't show us anyone that could have been Chinese, black, Latin American. It didn't matter because you made it such a point to point out that all of these evil white people are shady or very bad guys. And so you've got that element going on, and then you also have the fact that the mayor becomes mayor because the incumbent mayor dies. There's no runoff at all. There's no challenger, so she runs unopposed to become the new mayor. You've got Jim Gordon, who's a detective, who only becomes commissioner after his friend is murdered because he was dirty. Catwoman seen not as a thief, but as a what's what I'm looking for, a rebellious daughter
Yeah.
to to Falcone. So everyone that's not white actually has this moral high ground that the characters that are white don't have. And so for all of those reasons that I'm taking you through, that movie wasn't really Batman to me. It's
Mhm.
you put in elements that were comic book accurate or canon, but just because you do that doesn't mean that your character is the true iteration that you want to show. So
Or that
it's just for that reason.
yeah. Also like or that the fans wanted to see. Because I see a lot of
Right.
people that they was like, oh my god, it was Batman, it was the Batman movie we wanted. You finally got to see him be a detective. It was this noir story. And I was like, yeah, that's what it was. It was a noir story
It was a
that
noir
had
story.
Batman elements. So I feel that
Right.
and what I think like for people like I'm not a diehard fan of Batman, but that's my favorite hero from DC, and he's the only
Okay.
DC character whose comics I have.
Hmm.
So I do appreciate that character. And the again, I have yet to see the iteration of Batman that I'm familiar with from these movies. Uh,
Okay.
and I think that if they wanted, I feel like this was the perfect movie to since they trying
Showcase.
to yeah to showcase that
Okay.
Batman because then it could have had a more I don't want to say kid friendlier approach, but it could have had a younger audience truly invested as
I
opposed
see
to
what you
that
mean.
shit that they saw on TV where he was brutally beating up people in the night, fucking makeup on. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Like instead of seeing that, I feel like a lot of younger people, like including children, did not gravitate to that Batman, and that was the perfect opportunity after we've had these militaristic ass, padded suit, take all these bullets, Batman, with the tank Batmobile and the crazy voices and shit. I'm like, you could have gave us not a campy Batman, but a more superhero like character of the night, as well as showing like the detective noir type shit going on. Like, there's no reason that you couldn't have had all of those elements of Batman and make it in a palatable or more digestible product for a wider audience, similar to the animated movies. Because that Batman's like, lately they've been mature, but they're not always so mature, like cursing and blood and bones crunching and whatnot. But it was still like you could tell that these characters were serious. But Batman, again, all the unrealistic shit that he do to be a human, like all the gadgets, like Batman because of his gadgets. You don't know him because he's the
Right.
dude with the thick ass suit that can take bullets and beat up people. You know what
That
I'm
is fair.
saying? You know him
That is
for
fair.
the yellow belt, and then the smoke pillars he pulling out. You know what I'm saying? The fucking batarangs he throwing. He hit a nigga in the hand. They drop their gun. Then he start putting hands on them. And then he, you know what I'm saying, with the martial arts, he going everywhere. And then he got the little grappling hook. He attached it to somebody, and they get sucked into something or get reeled up. I'm like, that's the type of shit I want to see from Batman. And this dude was the worst, by far the worst version of Batman that I've seen yet.
Okay.
And I recall somebody saying that actually what's his name? Robert
Robert
Pattinson.
Pattinson, right?
He would have actually been a better Nightwing. And so okay, I'm gonna say I enjoyed Batman and Robin, that movie. Okay,
which one? Which one? Oh my god! Are you talking about
the George
which one? Are you
Clooney
talking
girl
about?
with the nipples on the suit?
Stop! Stop!
Look.
Stop!
So the reason I like it, I feel you. Come on, go hit me with the shame from Game of Thrones.
I mean, me saying stop was the bell, man. I said it 3 times. That's my word of shame. Shame.
Damn.
I say
3
stop.
times. Fucking Beetlejuice should have came and just bit my head off saying that shit.
He really should have. Really should
have.
have.
Bro, okay. So when I say I like the movie, I didn't like the movie. I liked a lot of Batman elements of it. So I felt like Mr. Freeze was dope. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Poison Ivy was dope. I understand that Robin was too old, but I like that this movie attempted to put Robin in it. And and then I feel like Batgirl probably was putting too much into it as well, and then like making her Alfred's like niece or some shit. But I appreciate that movie for attempting to be fucking Batman off the walls. You know what I'm saying? We're going balls deep with the Batman shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole motorcycle scene where they riding on type of like ice structures from Mr. Freeze goons with the hockey suits. It was a lot, bro. It was a lot. It was a lot, man. But I was like, this is a superhero fucking movie. So it's not the Batman movie, Batman and Robin, but it was a superhero movie. Bro, come on now. Poison Ivy, she was all sexy and whatnot, and then she hit him with the love shit, had them going after it. And then Robin was like, hold on, I grew up. I ain't that little boy I was the last time. He come with the rubber lips.
That's ridiculous, man.
You didn't like it?
You're ridiculous. I guess, well, that's the thing is, I liked it when I was a child. So the thing is that as a child, you like the campiness and the cheesiness about it. But the only problem was that around this time, Bruce Timm was making the animated universe. And the animated universe was more mature, not like you said with cussing bones and blood, but it was the fact that it was more realistic. So when you compare Bruce Timm's animated universe to, I'm trying to figure out if it was Joel Schumacher's version or not. When you get the Val Kilmer, the George Clooney, you're just like, this just looks really cheesy and it won't be taken seriously. So by the time that you want to take it seriously, it's grounded. The only problem is Christopher Nolan, that made the Dark Knight trilogy, doesn't like superheroes. So he made it really, really, really grounded. When you make it really grounded, it makes it so that you have to explain everything. And certain things about characters aren't supposed to be explainable. Like Batman or Bruce Wayne is a character that can bench press 1,000 pounds. He's got an IQ that's through the roof. He's been trained in nearly every martial art form. He's a billionaire. That's not supposed to be realistic at all. Mm-hmm. It's like the actual I guess version that you'd get it from is if you read Greek mythology, it's he's supposed to be Odysseus. He's a human that's supposed to be at his peak. He can tangle with the gods. He can actually match wits with them. That's not supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be he's an avatar of those types of characters.
So what do you mean by you said because at a certain point you just didn't want to like you didn't care about the character? Um so
Uh,
I'm like you were saying like by the time you want to care about the character you don't because it's so campy. But I'm like, don't you want to start out campy? I'm gonna say for like let's say the Batman situation. You start out with that, which I don't feel like was campy. He still had the thick black suit, but there was more cartoon comic book elements to that movie. But I mean, okay, we have mature Robin, but like I said, he could have been Nightwing, and then you probably not have George Clooney, probably do a little actor swap or whatnot, but you could bring in a Robin. Well, I guess Jason Todd wouldn't have been campy, but you get what I'm saying. They could have brought in another Robin and had like that. Okay, now we on some superhero type shit, but we have our mature elements that we've already built in. Um, I mean that's a direction that they clearly didn't go.
I I would say this: the version that you probably would be okay with, that you understand it's serious when it's serious, and when it's supposed to be fantastic, they let you know. I don't know if you've watched Doom Patrol before, or if
No,
you've heard of Doom Patrol. Like
I've
Doom
heard of it.
Patrol, it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's got its really serious elements, but when they have things that are goofy, they let you know, hey, in this universe, anything can happen. So
So
expect the unexpected.
my knowledge of Doom Patrol is from Beast Boy's perspective, and I didn't see Beast Boy in the show, so I didn't care
Nah.
to see it.
So that was them trying to introduce them to you, but the actual show is different. So
Mhm,
everyone goes through their struggles. And the interesting thing is the characters technically by birth are usually like they're about 80 or 90 years old in real time. So they
mhm,
show flashbacks of the character, and it's like 1945 or 1970, but it's present day, but no one's aged. But no one's asked the question, or how come you only look like you're in your 30s or 40s? They just go.
mhm,
There's a guy that has it's a robot body with a brain inside, and that's how he functions. But people
yeah,
don't really ask questions. They look startled and confused, and they might ask a question or two. But the main point is, well, it's weird in general, so roll with it. And when you treat your audience like that, you can actually tell the story.
mhm.
It doesn't have to be about why the character's doing it. How, like when we watch the Batman, how long do we spend trying to figure out for them telling us why he has to become Batman? Why he
Exactly,
can't just be Bruce Wayne? Right.
and how many
Because
times that we've
right.
seen this?
Right. Because they want it to be so grounded, you actually lose your ability to escape reality. So you have to explain every decision that's made, either by him narrating or by him showing us or doing something. And
Mhm,
so your audience isn't stupid. You've seen 4 or 5 different versions of Batman. We're just trying to figure out what sets you apart from the rest. You
yeah,
can't say it's the grittiest one because, we've seen gritty. That was Christopher Nolan's. It's not like he's the strongest Batman. We saw that with Ben Affleck's version. He's not socially aloof because that was Tim Burton's Batman in the 80s. So you're trying to tell me that emo is supposed to be the new socially awkward.
mhm,
And you can't just be the emo guy. The part of Bruce Wayne and Batman that actually helps people separate the character is because he's got a public persona that he tries to live up to. Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. I'm stealing the Tony Stark line from the
and
Avengers,
and that
but
is another another thing that George Clooney had. He was a playboy.
that's fair. I will
Come
give you
on,
that.
bro.
It's just you can't be Batman with gray hair at that point. Stop.
Yes,
Don't.
you can. That's
No.
more reason why the Robin is older. He just like ain't took the name
No. There
Nightwing
is
yet. That's all.
there is no way. I mean,
He was
you would
robbing the
had you
name. He
had
was
you
robbing the
given
name,
me
but we was looking at Nightwing. That's what that was. I need Batman and Robin too.
you're not getting that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I
Don't
need
do that.
Batman and Robin
Don't do
too.
that.
with
Don't
the
do
Bat
that.
Family. Come on now. Come on now. I'm giving DC
There's
ideas right now. Gotham Knights coming out. Fuck the show. I'm not talking about the show. Unfortunately, it's gonna be tied to it. But give us Gotham Knights. George Clooney's Batman is dead or he's missing.
they're not.
Okay.
They're not. You're not gonna get that.
The white guy who was I don't know if he's still willing to do it, but he's Nightwing now. Okay. And then we
Which
got
one?
the dude
Chris
who
O'Donnell.
that was him. He looked like a Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell's like almost 45, 50, man. He's too old.
Hey.
He's too old. No, I mean, my thoughts are is that the way that they're trying to make the next Batman movie, they were banking largely on the success of the one that just came out. So if they're saying that they based this movie on the Long Halloween, if they do part two, it might be on Dark Victory, and that's when they actually introduce Robin. And I think he's like 9 or 10 because originally when he becomes Robin, he's like 9 years old.
But
But
this is
again,
but what Batman is this? You talking about Ben Affleck?
no, I'm talking about the one that for the current one that just came out. The book that it's based on, there's a follow up book. And in the follow up book, they introduce Robin.
So I'm not. You can't say these people won't do anything with these companies and these decisions. I don't see
Mm-hmm.
them. I don't see them introducing a Robin in this Batman's universe because this dude
Well,
look young as fuck himself.
well, that's the thing is saying that in year 2 or 3, I think they're trying to keep it within maybe 5 years of him being Batman is when he gets Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are suggesting that the kid that died, the mayor's son,
Mm-hmm.
the rumor is that he could be Robin
Mm-hmm.
because he lost his parents too. I don't know if that's the route they're going to run or if that was what they were trying to show that say, oh, look how Batman still feels empathy or compassion for someone that lost his parents because if you don't remember, he lost his parents.
Mm-hmm.
But again, a character that was stone cold and didn't really have any emotional range, like Robert Pattinson's character of Bruce Wayne, if he can't show that in his facial expressions, you have to show it by the scene of him just staring at a child. And again, it looks weird in context, but it's because he doesn't have any emotional range or facial expressions that he can't show his, I guess, his compassion for a kid that lost his parents.
I don't even think they'll do it. I don't think a kid will even fit in this Batman dark ass gritty story that they making. That's really gonna be some shit that they pull out on the third movie. At the end of the third movie, knowing damn well that y'all ain't gonna get to see Robin in action, but you're just gonna see him take on the Robin. Oh, he cares now. Oh, this is the conclusion to Robert Pattinson's Batman. He's a loving father character, but you ain't gonna see none of that shit on screen. And I'm
I can
fine
see
with
that.
that. And I'm fine with that because I don't think it could even be pulled off.
Okay, man. That is fair. I will give you that. That's fair enough though.
I want Batman and Robin too. Okay. That way we can see the Bat family. And then I want Gotham Knights. That'll be the end of that trilogy. Like how they want Andrew Garfield to come back with the movies, even though the second one was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Give us that's the Batman trilogy I want, and I'm speaking that
Wait.
existence.
Okay, if you're trying to say you want a Bat family, who are you trying to put in this family? Because that's a lot of time that has to pass. If you're thinking what I think you're thinking,
To be the
do you know
Gotham
what I'm
Knights.
saying? All right, I forgot Gotham Knights and who else in that group?
Uh Red Hood, Nightwing,
Okay. hmm
some Batgirl.
Are you trying to have Tim Drake and Damian Wayne in that group too, or no? Where does it stop?
I don't know. So I'm thinking since this is a movie adaptation, I would be fine if they only had certain members because you know you got to think about the casting and then fitting other characters into a story or whatnot. So they're gonna have those type of restrictions. I think Red Hood most definitely because he's an iconic Robin.
Okay.
Um, Nightwing since that would be the Robin that was already in this so-called universe who was there,
hmm
and I guess that Batgirl would come back.
As Oracle or Batgirl? Because
Bat,
that's what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying?
Batgirl.
So before she gets shot. by
So
the Joker and the Killing Joke. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because for the people that you're saying, that's like 15, 20 years. And
mm-hmm.
you'd have to explain why Robin became Nightwing. You'd have to explain him taking on
but you
Jason Todd.
you wouldn't have to dedicate story to that though. Not a whole lot of time
You
because
would.
that Robin had already that was that what that movie was about. He was feeling like he was too old and he was in Batman's shadow and he was like he wanted to be bigger than Batman in a way. So you
Which one?
already
Are you talking from Batman and Robin?
yes.
Well, that's the thing. Like you're talking about 20 years ago. So you got a whole generation that never saw that movie. And they're not going to want and no director or producer is going to want to hinge their success on a movie from a reference from 25 years ago.
I get you.
And with characters that you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, because every producers, directors, and studios have their own egos. So they want to say, look what I did. Look how I built this character up. So if you're doing that, you have to tell how he was Robin. Then you have to tell the falling out and then why he becomes Nightwing. Then you have to tell how Batman found Jason Todd. Then you have to tell him how Jason Todd wasn't a great Robin. Then you have to explain how Robin gets killed by the Joker. And then you have to do the Red Hood storyline, which is a movie by itself, right? Then you have to explain Tim Drake being in, and then going with Barbara Gordon as Batgirl being shot and then being Oracle. Well, and then you see what I mean?
It's a lot to have to explain. We keep it at Jason Todd, okay, and a Batgirl. Whoever was the Batgirl, the Barbara. So we have her, okay, and it'll just be that story. And then later on, how they trying to come out with the multiverse Spider-Man movies, and they want to throw Miles in there with these 3 white boys. That's how they have to do the Gotham Knights movie. Just pull out these Robins out of nowhere.
I got you. I see. I got you. Man.
If Batman went hard, if these DC movies went hard like that, bro.
He did. I got you though.
If all of these superhero movies went hard, and so that they actually pulling from these comics and trying to stick to it and make great product, I'll be all over this shit like I want it to be.
Exactly. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why it's Heroes No Capes, man. So we got time. Hey, yo, but I actually got a jam on this. We'll probably have to get back on the stream for another day on here.
All right, bro. It was fun. Batman talk. What's up, man?
Okay. We got more topics we'll have to put back on for the next one, but like I guess this is a great start to it, and I think we're just getting started.
It was fun, bro.
All right, man.
I got some other dumb shit I might say that you might want to slap me for, but
you'll hear the stop of shame, man. I'm telling you right now. I was like, boy, stop.
I'm fine with it. It is what it is.
All right,
bro. Yeah, bro.
All right, I'll catch you next time. All right.
This has been episode 1. Heroes No Capes.
So 1. All right.